The Catholic Church was founded by Christ and led by the apostles. The apostles had the authority to lead the church because Christ gave them authority to lead the church, forgive other sins, preach, and cast out demons. However, all the apostles died, most of them being killed by the Romans. And so this authority had to be passed down to someone. The apostles gave their authorities to their successors, and their successors gave the apostles' authority to their own successors, and this chain repeats and repeats. The early church established three main offices of clergy that St. Ignatius of Antioch writes about, and these are still the three orders of the church. They are deacon, priest, also called presbyter, and a bishop. The three differences between these three orders are immense. In order for a man to become a deacon or a priest, he must be ordained one by a bishop. Deacons and priests usually work in parishes together, and they submit to the bishop. While deacons can do a lot of things on their own, like baptizing, reading the Gospels during Mass, delivering homilies, witnessing marriages, and assisting with communion, a deacon cannot celebrate Mass alone. Unlike priests and bishops, he has not been ordained a priest yet, and thus he cannot celebrate communion or the Mass alone. Priests have more powers than deacons. Priests can usually hear confessions, anoint the sick, and they can celebrate Mass and the Eucharist. A priest who leads a parish is called a rector or a pastor, and a parish can have extra priests. Parishes are not limited to one priest. Priests are the ones wearing the black shirts and the white collar. These are usually called the clerical collar. All priests and deacons have to submit to their local diocesan bishop. A bishop is considered a successor of the apostles, and this is the highest order in the church. A bishop usually controls a diocese, and if so, then he would be called an ordinary, because he controls land. But sometimes bishops are consecrated titularly, meaning that they do not receive a diocese to govern. A diocesan bishop has his church in the cathedral, and he gets to sit on a special throne called a cathedra, with a red and yellow umbrella called an umbraculum. It is a long process for a priest to become a bishop, but he must have been approved by other bishops, approved by the Pope, and then consecrated by a bishop by at least 3 consecrators. Those are all the orders in the church. But you might be wondering, what about the Pope and the Cardinals and all the other titles? Well, the title of the Pope is just a title given to the Bishop of Rome, and a Cardinal is usually a bishop, but he does not have to be a priest or a deacon. The title of Cardinal is given by the Pope. There are also more titles like Monsignor, a title given to select priests by the Pope, which incurs no extra duties or privileges. A Vicar General, which is a priest in a diocese and is the head deputy for the diocesan bishop. An archbishop is usually a title for bishops who lead an ecclesiastical province, which is an area of multiple dioceses that might be based on political boundaries like a country's province or states. An apostolic nuncio is a title given almost always exclusively to archbishops as the head bishop of that nation for diplomatic reasons. A patriarch is the title originally given to the bishops succeeding the churches founded by the apostles, but then later the title was given to more important bishops. All bishops were consecrated by another bishop, and the Catholic Church has an incomplete line of bishops tracing all the way back to the apostles. While we have a full list of popes, we cannot trace all bishops' paths back to the apostles due to the historical records which have been lost over the centuries, and also due to a lack of documentation. But how great it is to be in a church which can trace its churches, its cathedrals, its writings, and maybe even its clergy back to the men which our Lord blessed himself.